Hey everyone, so in today's video I am bringing you not just one review, but two reviews and a comparison demo swatches of two tinted moisturizers that I know you guys are very interested in. So today we're going to be comparing the new Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer from Colourpop to the tried and true, a classic, the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. I was saying I didn't want to just bring a review of the new Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer from Colourpop, so I figured what better way than to compare it to a product you guys are all very interested in. And I wanted to compare it to the new reformulated version of the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. The Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer is kind of a cult classic. It has always been a standby for so many people, so I thought that this comparison would be super helpful. I hope this comparison does end up being helpful, so if it does, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That way I know, and of course, I hope you'll subscribe. So let's first start off with the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. So you get 1.7 fluid ounces in here. You definitely get a lot more product than you would with a lot of other tinted moisturizers, so that's awesome. It retails for $47, so it's not awful for the amount of ounces you get. So you might see the 47 and think it's a little more expensive, but I love that they give you such a great amount of product, especially with a tinted moisturizer product like this that you'd like to use a lot of, or just, you know, use every single day. This comes in 20 shades and has an SPF of 30, which is awesome. I think an added SPF is nice to have, but I don't look for it or seek it out just because I use a sunscreen every single day. Laura Mercier describes this as their secret to a perfect dewy, no makeup look. This does have tamarind seed extract. It has macadamia nut oil. These oils that they've added to the product are supposed to really help your skin retain its moisture. This is definitely a product geared towards more dry skin. I have dry skin and sometimes more on the normal side, so that is something to keep in mind. As for the packaging, it's a very standard squeeze tube. I like squeeze tubes. I think they're super easy to apply, and this is great, of course, for travel. I think the packaging is definitely on point, and they actually added this little window at the bottom here so you can see how much product you have left. So let's talk about the finish of this product. They describe it as a very dewy finish. I find it to be dewy, but not really dewy. We're used to some CC creams and more BB cream tinted moisturizer products being very dewy. I think the way it looks on the skin is very healthy. So let's get into the demo. We'll get into the way that this applies to the skin. In all of my reviews, I think application is huge. If I don't like the way it applies, then that's always something that really hurts a review. I have the shade 1W1 Porcelain. The shade is slightly too warm and too dark for me. I think I should have gone with a neutral shade, but in store it's always a little bit hard to color match. Sephora lights are not true, so always something to keep in mind. But I do love the way this applies with fingers or even with a not damp sponge. I actually like the way that a sponge that hasn't been wet yet applies this product. It shears out over the skin and really melts into the skin easily. I really like the way that this blends onto the skin, and I think it looks very natural right off the bat. I really love the way this product sinks into the skin. It looks very skin-like, but it also will give your face just a really nice sheen. It checks, you know, every single box that you're looking for with an everyday glowy tinted moisturizer. Now, like I said before, I feel like the finish is more on the dewy side, but it's not so dewy that I think it's only good for those of you with dry skin. It does have like a very subtle blurring effect on my skin, and the coverage is about sheer to light. It doesn't leave you wanting a ton more coverage if you're used to more light coverage products. This to me really rings true to a very iconic tinted moisturizer that gives you some glow, it gives you some coverage, and it makes your skin look healthy. And overall, I just really like the way that this looks on my skin. I get a full 8 hours of wear with this product, and I do think that their claims that this will help retain your moisture throughout the day is definitely true. I tend to, on more dry days, some like fine lines kind of start to peek through as I go on with my day, you know, as my skin gets drier. and this definitely helps retain the moisture. It helps my skin just look healthier throughout the day. Of course, I think if you know you're blowing your nose or anything like that, the product is going to come off very easily just because this is a tinted moisturizer. So you know it's going to come off easily if you don't set down your makeup. But I think if you're not touching your face a lot, if you just want something really quick and easy for every day, this definitely has a great wear time for a tinted moisturizer in my opinion. So overall, I definitely recommend the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. I actually prefer this formula to the original. I wasn't blown away by the original formula, and I think this one is one that just a lot of people will enjoy. I think it's very, very solid. Now let's move on to the Colourpop Pretty Fresh. So the Colourpop Pretty Fresh retails for $14 and you get 1.45 ounces in here, which is amazing. I love that they added more product to this. I think it does set this apart. Typical tinted moisturizers only get an ounce. I think it actually sets both of these products apart. I love that brands are putting a little bit more product where other brands are actually taking away product and giving you less. Colourpop also has given us 23 shades, which is amazing. So the Pretty Fresh is actually a hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer. So hyaluronic acid pulls water from the air and brings it into your skin to help hydrate it. It's really a great ingredient for everyone. It's a water binding ingredient. So everyone's skin needs hydration. Not all skin needs a lot of moisture. So whereas the Laura Mercier depends more on moisturizing your skin with oils, the Pretty Fresh is said to help hydrate it with more water binding ingredients. I do want to quickly make that distinction. I think it's really awesome that this does include hyaluronic acid because it's an ingredient that across skin types really helps the skin. I love the addition of the coconut water. My skin really likes coconut water, and it's not to be confused with coconut oil. Coconut oil is not an ingredient that I like in my skincare. That is a comedogenic ingredient, whereas coconut water is not and really hydrates the skin. Packaging is completely clear, so you can again see how much product you have in it, and it actually comes with a pump at the bottom, which I like. I actually really like this Colourpop packaging. I think some of their packaging is like slightly too cutesy for me, but this one is very, very simple and I really, really enjoy it. So let's jump into the demo of this product. I have the shade 1N Fair, and this is one of the lighter shades, and it is actually too light for me, which I would normally be a little bit upset about, but that does mean that those of you with very, very fair skin have a shade for use. I love the way that this applies with the fingers, or again, a not damp sponge. The texture of this product is unlike the Laura Mercier, which is a very classic tinted moisturizer feeling. This almost has a water cream sort of texture. It's very interesting. A water cream is the best way I can describe it. If you felt more Korean focused moisturizers that are a more mixture of a cream and a gel, that is what this feels like to me. And then when you blend it onto the skin, it really immediately melts the way water does. It feels very, very refreshing on the skin, but it really melts almost on contact. It glides over the skin in a way though that I think is really surprising because it does have a little bit more oomph than some, serum products. I think this texture is very unique and it allows this product to still apply very easily to the skin. This is definitely a more sheer product, and I think the coverage is just about the same as the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, maybe just like the slightest bit more coverage, but it applies really, really beautifully and it lets all of the sort of freckles shine through. The finish of this product is a lot less dewy than the Laura Mercier. The Pretty Fresh has more of a skin-like finish, and the Laura Mercier again leans a little bit more on the dewy side. I am wearing it today on my skin and I just feel like it looks like skin. This really sinks into the skin, but it also just has the overall texture of skin while also not exaggerating any dryness, but really not giving the skin a ton of dew. You can see on my skin I do have like a slight sheen, but that's more from my skincare than it is from the actual product. One thing I really like about it is how lightweight it is. It doesn't feel like a lot of product, which is nice. A lot of typical tinted moisturizers, they feel like an added layer of moisture in, which, you know, is great and can feel very comforting on the skin. But I do think that some people prefer the feeling of nothing being there at all. I also really like that this wears well on my skin. It doesn't look dry throughout the day. It doesn't look super, super dewy. It kind of just maintains this really pretty skin-like effect. I think the wear time on both of these products is very similar, but if I want something with just a little bit less dew, then this is a good option. But you know, some days, on my drier days, I might want something with a little bit more glow, especially if my skin is feeling dull. I think for the price point, this is a very, very good launch from Colourpop. I'm really impressed with it, to be honest, because they managed to make an affordable product with a texture that you don't really get with a lot of foundations. I think the texture is very, very unique. And it also has a finish that a lot of you, I think, will really enjoy because it isn't super, super dewy. Hydrating and skin-like, you know, not necessarily super, super glowy glass skin. And that's where a lot of tinted moisturizers kind of sit. I really like it. I think this product is very unique, and of course it's also super affordable and so many shades. I don't think you can really go wrong with this one. Let's kind of do a quick recap on both of these products. I love the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer for a really nice everyday dewy look. I think it blurs the skin in a way that's really pretty. Like, it has that slight blurring effect. The sheerness of the coverage is really pretty, and it lasts on the skin, and that's always super important. You get a bunch of product in here. The shade range is nice. So I think if you have, you know, dry all the way to more combo leaning normal, like not combo leaning oily, I think you'll really, really enjoy this one. As for the Pretty Fresh from Colourpop, I think this could work for dry skin all the way to combo leaning oily. The skin-like finish I do think is very unique. I like that it gives, you know, a sheer to light coverage, a great everyday product again. So I hope that today's video was helpful, and if it was, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and that way I know. And of course, I hope that you will subscribe. I would love to have you back on some of my videos, and with all of that, I will see you in my next one.